Let's see who's here. DBC, hello. Tina, hello. Got home just in time. And I feel pretty good today. I did 13,000 steps yesterday, so it was actually quite a long walk. I feel good, except my arm still really hurts. It feels like really bad tennis elbow right now. I think I need to get a sling just to hold it, just to rest it for a while. But I was also having my second day anxieties. Hey, Ted Wilson. Where I was just like, oh no, I can't repeat myself. There's Allison. I told Allison to say hello to make sure I was there. Hey, Sith Rose. So I was having my anxiety, and then I just all of a sudden I was asking Bard something, and I I just gotta fix this a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Hey, Reed. So I was asking Bard a question. I talk to AI often, trying to answer questions or ideas or thoughts or correct information if I'm not quite sure how accurate it is. Such a great learning tool. Then I thought, you know what? I need to be able to talk to AI while I'm walking. I feel like that would add so much to the walks. So I asked Bard, and they said that there's a app, Chat GPT, I think, Chat GPT. That no, it's Chat GPT is the regular AI. I forget what the actual talking app is. I'll figure it out in a second. So I downloaded it. So we're gonna play with it tonight. We're gonna see if it can help guide the directions of what we want to check out in the neighborhood. We're gonna see if there's any mysteries we can talk about. Maybe ask it some some comic book questions. I'm trying to see. I don't know if I have my phone in the thing straight. It looks slightly crooked. No, I think it's just the sidewalk fools me a little bit. Okay, so well, first I kind of wanted to. Okay, I can't see it right now. I was seeing the colorful lights in the sky, which we know is the bridge, but I want to know if I saw it for the first time. We can ask that. All right, let's do that. Reed's got a question. Let me get I gotta find a garbage can first, and then we'll start asking questions. But I kind of want to just ask if it thinks there's anything cool in the neighborhood that we should go check out, and then we can I want to kind of have a Beanie Baby talk, because we came up with that a little bit last time, and there's always that kind of discussion. Maybe some comic industry talk, all kinds of fun stuff. All right, there's the garbage can. I don't know how easy and quick it will be the talk, but it seemed like it would be like a really cool way to just come up with ideas of things to talk about. Because that's my biggest thing. Sometimes when I walk around, I run out of ideas, or then I just feel like I'm just babbling about whatever. Well, I guess at the grocery store you can still get plastic. But in New York City, they banned plastic for most stores. Like my shop, I can't give out plastic bags anymore, which is a little frustrating on rainy days. Okay, I got my son's phone, so that's what we're going to use as the robot in the equation. I almost feel like I need to sit down for a second to figure it out. Okay, let's get the phone open. All right. I don't know how. I mean, I'm kind of excited to play with this because it's just such amazing technology that just keeps getting made. Okay, so I have its Voice GBT is the app, so we can ask it questions. Okay, let's see. Well, Beanie Babies are now nostalgic enough that they're making them back again, because they're now 20 years old. So the 10-year-olds who grew up with them are 30. So it's actually, I'm not surprised at all that there's new Beanie Babies out there. Oops. I don't know how to use the the Android phone as well. I'm so bad at these things. What do I do to open up all my windows? Do I hit the middle button? Oh, there we go. Okay, close that. There we go. Okay, let's try this. What do you think about alien life? Oops, I gotta hit the button first. What do you think about alien life?
I don't have personal opinions, but the existence of alien life is a topic of great interest and speculation in the scientific community and among the general public. While there's no definitive proof of extraterrestrial life as of my last knowledge update in September 2021, the vastness of the universe and the discovery of potentially habitable exoplanets have fueled curiosity about the possibility of life beyond Earth. Scientists continue to explore this question through various means, such as the search for microbial life on Mars and the study of exoplanetary environments.
That was actually a pretty long answer. It's so freaking cool. Now, it's only using ChatGPT 3.5 right now, which is only up to 2021 information. If I pay for ChatGPT 4, I think it has newer, I would prefer Bard. Okay. That'll be funny, Ted. Yeah, New York City, the plastic bags are banned. Okay, so that's funny. I'm listening to it. I can't read chat and listen to ChatGPT. So this is going to be a little bit difficult, but super fun. All right, I think we got... Okay, there we go. We got everyone. Hello. Okay, let's... I'm going to ask you about if there's anything cool in the neighborhood that we should go check out. I'm in Williamsburg, Brooklyn right now. Is there anything really cool that I could walk to check out?
Williamsburg, Brooklyn is known for its vibrant arts, culture, and food scene. Here are a few suggestions of cool places and things to check out within walking distance. Williamsburg waterfront. Stroll along the waterfront for a great view of the Manhattan skyline and enjoy the relaxing atmosphere. Smorgasburg. If you're into food, Smorgasburg is a fantastic market with a variety of delicious options. It's usually held on weekends.
The
Williamsburg
Smorgasburg.
street art. The neighborhood is known for its street art. You can walk around and explore the murals and graffiti, especially around Bedford Avenue. Brooklyn Brewery. If you're into craft beer, consider a visit to the Brooklyn Brewery for a tour, or just to enjoy some local brews. East River State Park. This park offers a green space by the river and often hosts events and markets. Music venues. Williamsburg has a thriving music scene. Check out local venues like Rough Trade, Music Hall of Williamsburg, or Brooklyn Steel for live shows.
Okay, Rough Trade
Shops
is closed.
And boutiques. Bedford Avenue is lined with unique shops, boutiques, and vintage stores if you're into shopping.
Okay, we're on Bedford
Remember to check
Avenue
the
now.
latest information, as the availability and hours of these places may change. Enjoy your time exploring Williamsburg.
The Smorgasburg. Its pronunciation is kind of funny, but so yeah, we do all that already. We go to the waterfront, we check out the local art. Brooklyn Bowl is right next to the hot building. The Smorgasburg or the Smorgasburg is the food event that's on the weekends, which we've walked through a few times. We're just going in circles now. Interesting. Okay, well, I don't know if any of those are interesting. Let me ask, you know what? There's one question people have asked a few times. Are there any haunted locations in Williamsburg, Brooklyn?
Williamsburg, like many historic areas, has its share of ghost stories and rumored haunted locations. Here are a couple of places in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, that have been associated with ghostly tales. McCarran Park Pool. The McCarran Park Pool has a rich history.
Oh, let's go over there now.
Reports of paranormal activity in the area. Some claim to have heard strange noises or seen apparitions. Williamsburg Bridge. The Williamsburg Bridge is another spot where some people have reported eerie experiences. Given its age and the number of people who have crossed it over the years, it's not surprising that it has attracted some ghost stories. These are more local legends and stories rather than confirmed haunted locations. If you're interested in ghost stories and the paranormal, you might want to join a local ghost tour or speak with residents who might share their own spooky tales. Remember to be respectful of any private property and obey any posted rules or hours of operation when exploring the area.
All right, that sounds interesting. Let's go. We'll go to the pool now. We'll see if we can find any apparitions. We'll see when Ted's here. Hopefully I get to hang out with him a little bit. It really depends on how I'm feeling. Right now I'm still not 100% functioning, but I look forward to him visiting, so that'll be super cool. I think the McCarran pool now is holding migrants. I think there's a lot of migrants there now, so probably won't see ghosts, but we'll look. AI terrifies you? Well, the second Terminator film, the Terminator that was reprogrammed to protect John Connor, I like that Terminator. I'll take one of those, please. And then I like how when in the latest movie where they had him like the old version where once he was done with his program, he just lived on this planet for 20 or 30 years or whatever, and then he like changed his outlook on the universe. I like that too. Awesome, mate. I really need like a sling or something for my arm. Okay, we got. This is fun. I like having AI. It's so much better than Siri. Siri doesn't know shit when you ask it. I can't wait till AI is just on phones regularly. So when you have a question, you can just ask. Because honestly, like those answers for what to check out in Williamsburg is all the stuff I've been to already. Because I know the stuff in my neighborhood. So that's actually a really good answer. And then the ghost stuff, I didn't know the answer to that. So that's actually quite amazing that answer was available. Okay, I've got another one. Let's try this. I'm in Williamsburg, Brooklyn right now at McCarran Park, and in the sky I see a colorful cloud. It looks like some kind of color light is lighting it up. Can you tell me what you think that is?
Cloud or sky phenomenon in McCarran Park, it's possible that you're witnessing a unique atmospheric event or weather-related phenomenon. Here are a few possibilities. Sunset or sunrise. The sun can create stunning and colorful displays in the sky during sunrise and sunset, often referred to as the golden hour. Cloud iridescence. Iridescent clouds can appear when sunlight is diffracted by small water droplets or ice crystals in the clouds, creating a colorful, shimmering effect. Weather phenomena. Unusual weather conditions, such as a passing storm, can sometimes lead to dramatic lighting events in the sky. Artificial lighting. It's also possible that you're seeing the result of artificial lighting, such as neon signs, LED displays, or other light installations. Without more information, it's challenging to pinpoint the exact cause. If it's a natural phenomenon, like a colorful cloud, consider taking a photo or enjoying the beautiful sight. If it seems to be related to an event or installation in the park, you might want to inquire locally to learn more about it.
We got drums in the park. Okay, so it does have information up to 2021. I don't know what year they started doing the lights on the bridge. It might have been right after that. So I need Bard on here. I like Bard better than ChatGPT 3.5 because it has more relevant to-date information. It's fun. They have a little drum circle going on in the park. What was the name of the bridge now? I gotta remember. It was a Kosciuszko. Could the light be from the Kosciuszko Bridge?
Yes, it's possible that the colorful lights you're seeing in the sky near McCarran Park could be coming from the Kosciuszko Bridge. The Kosciuszko Bridge, which connects Brooklyn and Queens, has been illuminated with LED lights as part of a lighting project. These lights can change colors and create vibrant displays, which might be visible from various vantage points in the area, including McCarran Park. This kind of lighting can certainly produce striking and colorful effects in the night sky. Enjoy the view.
All right, sweet. It agreed. It thinks that the lights could be that, which I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, it looks like I can actually feed it pictures now. I gotta find something to take a picture and ask a question about it. I haven't done that yet. Can you tell me some more specific ghost stories about the McCarran Park pool?
The McCarran Park pool in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, has has a history dating back to the 1930s and is known for its grand architecture. While there are no widely publicized ghost stories associated with the pool, some people have reported eerie or paranormal experiences in and around the area. Here are a couple of anecdotal stories. Apparitions and voices. Some visitors have claimed to have seen shadowy figures or heard mysterious voices in the vicinity of the pool, especially during the late hours. These accounts are often difficult to confirm and remain largely based on personal experiences. Residual energy. Historic places like McCarran Park Pool can sometimes accumulate a sense of residual energy from their past, which some people interpret as ghostly activity. The pool has gone through various renovations and uses over the years, and this history can contribute to its aura. Please note that these are anecdotal stories and local legends, and there is no scientific evidence to support claims of haunting in the McCarran Park Pool. If you're
They're
interested
barbecuing
in
right now. It looks so
exploring the
freaking
paranormal
cool.
aspect of the pool, you might consider joining a local ghost tour or speaking with longtime residents who may have more stories to share. Always be respectful.
I can't
of
tell you
the
how
posted
cool
rules
it
and
is that I
hours
could
when
just talk to
visiting the area.
AI and have it give me information back. Like, this is freaking amazing. You really want me to ask some scary questions from AI? Hey, Axios. Hey, GTK Comics. All right, Reed. Let's do it. I'm kind of scared of the answer. You really want me to ask this? Okay. What does AI think about AI taking over humans?
AI itself doesn't have thoughts, opinions, or intentions. The idea of AI taking over humans is a concept often explored in science fiction and discussions about the future of artificial intelligence. It's a topic of debate and concern for some, while others see it as a potential future development. Whether AI could surpass human capabilities and what safeguards should be in place to ensure responsible AI development are complex, ethical, and philosophical questions. The development and use of AI are ultimately determined by humans, guided by ethical principles and regulations.
Allison, if we have them 5 each and they're buying 20, you could do $4 each. That's okay. You can do that. I honestly, AI sort of creeps me out, but I absolutely love it because it lets you find so much information really quickly. Allison, did you get that $4 each? No, that sounded like a human programmed it in there to not scare people. Well, I don't know. AI might need us reproducing for whatever reasons. Where is McCarran Pool? I know it's right over here somewhere. Let me see where I'm at. Hey, Michael. Okay, I'm on Bayard Street and Lorimer. I'm on the corner of Bayard Street and Lorimer in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Can you give me directions to the McCarran Park?
Certainly. To get from the corner of Bayard Street in Williamsburg, Brooklyn to McCarran Park, you can follow these simple directions.
Oh no, I'm already at the park. Wrong question.
On Bayard Street toward Graham Avenue.
How do I stop
Turn
this?
right onto Graham Avenue. Continue walking north on Graham Avenue.
Yeah,
for
$4
7
each is fine.
When you reach
I really can't. I don't.
Take a left turn. Walk west on N12th Street.
Can someone just type for Allison $4 each?
Once you reach turn 7, make a right turn.
Allison, if they're 5, you can do $4 each on them. If they're more expensive, you could take like 15% off.
Enjoy your walk to McCarran Park.
Let me type that in. Alright, $4 each. Okay, hopefully Allison got that. Okay. I'm on the corner of Bayard Street and Lorimer Street. Can you give me directions to McCarran Pool?
I'm not aware of a McCarran Pool in Williamsburg or the surrounding area, and there are no widely recognized or well-known landmarks with that name.
Oops,
If you're
I
referring
thought
to
I
a
said
specific
Karen Pool.
location that might not be
Okay,
widely
it's
known,
not hearing me very well
recommend
at the moment. Let's
asking
try this
locals
one more
in the area
time.
Using a mapping app to get precise directions. If you have more specific information about the location.
You misheard me? Oops. You misheard me? McCarran Pool.
apologies for the misunderstanding. To get from the corner of Baird Street and Lorimer Street in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, to McCarran Pool, you can follow these directions. Head west on Baird Street toward Lorimer Street. Turn left onto Lorimer Street and continue north.
Okay.
After a few blocks, you will reach McCarran Park, and the pool is located within the park. Enjoy your visit to McCarran Pool.
Oh, no, we are here. Is it? I'm so disoriented. Is it right here? This might actually be it right here. This we might have been already right next to it. Yeah, it's so we can look. And the question is, even if AI gets intelligent enough to be like Skynet, is it really want to destroy all humanity? We might just be something that it's like it doesn't even care about ants. So yeah, this is, what's that? Oh, there's a black thing flying across there, but that was a bag. Bag me out for a second. You're looking for apparitions and I see a black figure blow across there. Live, we find some hauntings in the neighborhood. It's really cold right now. Oh, I don't know what the temperature is. Let me ask AI. Oh, it doesn't. I'm sorry. AI. This way AI won't work because there isn't a. It's not up to date. It's 2-year-old information. Okay. Oh, I had some questions for it, but I am drawing a blank. You guys have any questions? Like real questions? Like, I think it's just a fascinating tool. I'm not afraid of it at all, just because it's like, it helps me find the information I need so much easier than regular Google now. Like anytime I need to ask something, I'll go on Google, I'll search it, and like 1,000 pages come up and I can't freaking figure out what I need to write it. And then I just I'm just go to Bard, ask Bard, and it comes up in like 4 seconds. Woo! This wind is cold. This is a windy, cold day. I should have brought gloves with me. Yeah, I'm gonna switch hands. Switch hands. All right. I think I'm ready for the Beanie Baby discussion. A little bit of information on Beanie Babies. We were talking about it, but I want some actual numbers. Can you tell me what year Beanie Babies were most popular?
It seems like your message got cut off, and I'm not sure what specific year or information you're looking for.
Oh.
Please provide more details or clarify your question.
Oh,
and I'll do my best
the
to
wind
assist
blew
you.
my microphone off. Can you tell me what year Beanie Babies were the most popular?
Beanie Babies, a line of stuffed animal collectibles, became extremely popular during the mid to late 1990s. Their peak popularity can be pinpointed to around 1996 and 1997, when they became a widespread
So
and highly
96,
sought-after
97?
toy and collectible item. During that time, some Beanie Babies were considered rare and valuable, and they were a significant trend in the world of collectibles. However, their popularity declined in the late 1990s and early 2000s.
All right, it's giving me a very long. Let me ask for a short answer. In a short answer, can you tell me how many different Beanie Babies?
Beanie Babies were most popular in the mid to late 1990s.
Oops. In a short answer, can you tell me how many Beanie Baby styles were made in 1997?
Approximately 50 Beanie Baby styles were introduced in 1997.
So only 50 different Beanie Babies in 1997. That's so little. How many total styles were being manufactured in 1997?
In 1997, Ty Incorporated, the company that created Beanie Babies, was manufacturing approximately 70 different Beanie Baby styles.
Right now, AI is still kind of under control. As soon as it's able to reprogram itself and able to build its own hardware. Right now, the limitation is that it needs people to build its hardware. So only 70 styles of Beanie Babies were made in 1997. All right, next question. What was the total revenue for Ty Inc. in 1997?
I don't have access to to specific financial data or records for private companies like Thai Incorporated, the maker of Beanie Babies. Therefore, I cannot provide information about their total revenue in 1997 or any other financial details.
Okay, so can't give me that.
My knowledge is based on publicly available information up to September 2021.
From
For specific financial data, you may need to consult company reports or financial databases if such information is publicly disclosed.
So in the past, I've looked up, I think it's $1.1 billion worth of Beanie Babies in 1997. So you divide, retail was $5 for Beanie Babies, so wholesale would have been $2.50. So divide 1.1 billion by 250. Can you give me an estimated total number of Beanie Babies manufactured in 1997? Hey, Zombie Monkey.
While it's challenging to provide an exact number, it's estimated that Thai Incorporated produced several hundred million Beanie Babies in 1997. The company was known for releasing many different Beanie Baby styles and producing them in large quantities during the height of their popularity.
Okay, so the AI thinks there was 200 million Beanie Babies. Divide that by 70. Can you divide 1.1 billion
Of course,
by...
you with division. Please provide the numbers or values you'd
It
like
keeps
to
cutting me off.
provide and I'll assist you with the calculation.
My pauses in my speech, I don't speak fast enough. If 200 million Beanie Babies were made in 1997 in 70 different styles, how many per style were manufactured on average?
To find out how many Beanie Babies were manufactured per style on average in 1997, you can divide the total number 200 million by the number of different styles 70. 200 million hours divided by 70 equals approximately 2,857,143 Beanie Babies per style on average. So on average, about 2,857,143 Beanie Babies of each style were manufactured in 1997.
I don't know how accurate, but holy crap. Holy crap. So, my estimate, or I think what I looked up is $1.1 billion worth of Beanie Babies were sold by the company. Divide that by 2, that's $500 million. No, divided by 250, 400 million Beanie Babies. Divided by 70 is like 2 or 3 million. So that could be accurate. There could have been 2 or 3 million of every single Beanie Baby manufactured in 1997. 2 to 3 million. That's how many Spawn #1 comic star. That's how many Spider-Man comics #1. 2 to 3 million of only 70 different styles. Okay, now let's go to Funko Pops. How many different Funko Pop styles were made in 2014?
Funko Pop. Figures have become increasingly popular over the years, and the number of styles produced has grown significantly. In 2014, Funko was already producing a wide range of figures. While I don't have the exact number for 2014, it's safe to say that they were already offering a diverse selection of characters from various franchises. Funko frequently introduces new styles and characters, so the number produced in any given year can vary. To find information on the specific styles produced in 2014, you might want to check Funko's official records or catalog from that time.
I mean, that's a lot of Beanie Babies. They're really common. There's a reason why Beanie Babies are called Beanie Babies, because there's each one, if you want one, there's 2 or 3 million of that style out in the universe. How many different styles of Funko Pops were made in 2014?
I don't have access to the specific number of Funko Pop styles produced in 2014, as the number can vary from year to year and is subject to change based on licensing agreements.
Okay, so Bard had a much easier, better numbers because they have all the corporate numbers now. So ChatGPT doesn't have it, but in 2014, Funko made something like 1,500 different Funko Pops. Total revenue was like 200 or 300 million. So on average, when you calculate, and 65% of their market or their revenue was from Funko Pops. So that came down to, when I averaged it out, it was something like 9 or 10,000 per Funko Pop style in 2014. So each Funko Pop, there's 10,000 different. And back in 2014, a lot of them people threw out the boxes and destroyed. So out of those 10,000, maybe only 7,000 remain in their box. So think about a collectible that there's only 7,000 of each, compared to a stuffed plushie that they made 2 to 3 million of each. It doesn't even compare. And collectability, there's no collectability. When you make 2 or 3 million of something and everyone kept them in mint condition, there's no collectible value in that. It's way too easy to get, way too common. Whereas 7,000, we gotta do some more. How many people do you think collect Funko Pops in the world?
The number of people who collect Funko Pops worldwide is challenging to estimate precisely. Collecting Funko Pops has become a popular hobby, and the community of collectors is large and diverse. It includes individuals of all ages and from various countries.
All right, so she doesn't have the information on
that. The
that.
number of collectors continues to grow as new pop figures are released for different franchises and interests. While there are millions of Funko Pop figures sold each year, the exact number of collectors is not readily available, and it can change over time.
Okay, let's, can you divide the US population by 7,000? Oops, I didn't do that.
The estimated US population as of my last knowledge update in September 2021 was around 331 million people. When you divide the US population by 7,000, you get 331 million / 7,000 equals 47,285. So, approximately 47,285 groups of 7,000 people can be made from the estimated US population.
Okay, so she's saying that for every Funko Pop from 2014, there's 40-something thousand people in just the US, not... Yeah, everything. In the 1990s, comics, Beanie Babies, trading cards, almost everything was overproduced. But the things that weren't overproduced are actually worth a lot. Pokemon cards, action figures. Okay, let's see. I just saw a fun red-looking light in the sky, but I went behind the building. I'm looking for aerial phenomena. No, I don't know where it went. Yeah, Allison, please. I would love some rice and beans. I would love some rice and beans. So I did the math last night. I was talking to my friend Alex, and I did the math for newer Funko Pops this year. They sold $2.3 billion worth of revenue in 2023, or that's the estimate. If 65% of that was in Funko Pops, that's like $1.4 billion in revenue just on Funko Pops. Assuming on average they got $7 each for wholesale, but they also sell a lot in at the conventions and stuff. But let's just use the number 7. That means they sold 20 million different Funko Pops. 20 million. Then you divide the 20 million by the 2,000 or so different designs, and that's what, 100,000? I can't do the math in my head. But I estimated somewhere between 40 and 100,000 of each design of modern Funko Pops. Modern Funko Pops are becoming more like Beanie Babies because that's a lot. 40 to 100,000, but it's still not 2 to 3 million of each Funko Pop. That's what makes Funko Pops different, is that each one is a lot more unique and rare, and that a lot of them in the early years got destroyed because people just threw out the boxes. They were cheap toys. They weren't collectible yet. And it's when toys get destroyed is when they become very collectible. All the stuff from the 80s got destroyed. So there's very, very few mint on card G.I. Joes and Transformers, and that's why those are super expensive. And so Funko Pops have always been a collectible more than a toy. There's not a lot of kids buying them. So because of that, sadly, I don't think they'll ever gain really high nostalgic value. But I feel like there will be some. The Fortnite ones, the Five Nights at Freddy's, the Minecraft, the stuff that kids actually did buy and play with, those will have some value. But the Dragon Ball Z ones and the anime ones for, 25, 30-year-olds who grew up with it that bought them now, those ones, they probably won't get much nostalgic value. Whew, I'm tired. Lots of information. My brain, it hurts. So every time someone says, oh, Funko Pops are Beanie Babies, I'm just, in my head, I do all these calculations. I'm like, no, they can't be. One toy line that they made 2 or 3 million of each versus a toy line that they made, instead of 70 different, they've made like 15 to 20,000 different, and each one has a lower print run. It can't be. Even though I'm not happy with Funko Pop right now with overproduction and all that, it's still nowhere near the same as Beanie Babies. And Beanie Babies, there's still cute plushes like in the window here. These aren't Beanie Babies, but they're cute plushes. So cute plushes, there will always be little kids that will want to buy them as a fun little toy. But not really nostalgic value because there's just way too many out there. So if there's someone who wants original Beanie Baby, there's enough supply for the next 1,000 years. In 10,000 years, Beanie Babies will be worth a small fortune, just through attrition of things getting destroyed over the years. And speaking of that, it's a lot of times the value stuff, just the older it gets, the more likely it'll have value. I was reading an article recently about a Viking poop that sold for like $40,000. It was a petrified rock hard turd that a Viking made, I don't know, 800 years ago, 1,000 years ago. And it sold for $40,000 on auction. Just goes to show, even a shit can gain a lot of value if you give it enough age. Well, that's not a problem because most people who bought Beanie Babies were adults who thought they'd be worth something. So there's thousands of collections of Beanie Babies with tag protectors on them. I get offered thousands and hundreds of Beanie Babies all the time. So Beanie Babies also did not get, they didn't decrease. Now people are throwing them out, getting rid of them because no one wants them. So yes, the amount of Beanie Babies are decreasing, but not at a rate where it's going to lose 100% of them. Okay, I'm going to ask another ChatGPT question based on that. In a short answer, how long was the original G.I. Joe action figure line?
The original G.I. action figure line was introduced in 1964 and ran until 1976, making it 12 years long.
Okay, so the original G.I. Joe, one of the most popular toy lines of all, lasted 12 years. Right? And you think of G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe is super popular. Okay? In a short answer, how long did Masters of the Universe last?
The original Masters of the Universe toy line, introduced in 1982, lasted until 1987.
Oh, so you're saying the filling will... But isn't the filling just plastic beads? Is the filling really deteriorating on the Beanie Babies? And even then, I feel like you could just refill them, right? It's not like the outside or the shell of the doll just turns to, if you know anything about sewing stuff, it's so easy to cut a few stitches up, put new filling in, seal it up, and it's like new. You restored it. So Master Universe was only popular from 82 to 87, so that's 5 years. How long did the original Transformers line last?
The original Transformers toy line, introduced in 1984, has continued to evolve and expand for decades with new iterations and generations. So, it has lasted for many years and is still ongoing.
Okay, so I say Transformers is ongoing, but how long was Generation 1 Transformers last?
The original Generation 1 Transformers toy line, which began in 1984, officially ended in 1993. It was followed
So
by
84 to 93, so 9 years.
Transformers franchise.
Well, but Beanie Babies have no value, so it's not affecting the value from $4 down to nothing. Like they never gain value, so it's not. There's no value in them. They're worthless. I can buy them for a quarter or 50 cents in bulk. I sell them for $4, but I sell them as a doll, not really a collectible. So far, most major toy lines, except for Barbie. Barbie's one of the few that has gone on for decades. How long has Funko Pops been around?
Funko Pops were first introduced in 2011, so as of 2023, they have been around for approximately 12 years. They have become a popular collectible item and have expanded to cover a wide range of characters and franchises.
Okay, so Funko Pops have been popular for 12 years. That's as long as pretty much every major toy line or longer. The only toy line I can think of that didn't change or do any big update or stop for a couple years was Barbie. Barbie's the only toy line that I can think of that just kept going.
Is it?
Now, just lost my train of thought. I'm trying to think. So 2010 is when Monster High Dolls came out, and I thought those were really cool. So that started about 6 months before Funko Pops. Maybe the same exact time. Yeah, no, I don't really care about Beanie Babies either. But my point is people use Beanie Babies as an example to compare something that's going to fail to them. So people are like, oh, Funko Pops are just Beanie Babies. My point is Funko Pops have been popular for 12 years, just as long as G.I. Joe, just as long as G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, just as long as Transformers Generation, if not longer, or just as long as, I don't know, many major ones. I know, I'm so happy to be back walking and talking. And also, I have ChatGPT in my pocket, so I can ask it questions to come up with ideas. But also, my point is Beanie Babies were mass overproduced, just like trading cards, comic books, and everything else in the 90s. Whereas modern day stuff, they do so much more variety. Let's see what they've done in the fun window. Fun for the Halloween season. All right, let's for Lars, let's find some topics that are more interesting. Yeah, Funko Pops are very much like comics, but even then, up until 2015, the most mass-produced Funko Pop was about the same as a very small print run comic. Like Walking Dead, I think it had 5,000 to 10,000. Let me ask. How many copies of Walking Dead #1 were printed?
The first issue of the Walking Dead comic book series, created by Robert Kirkman and Tony Ford, was originally published in October 2003. Initially, it had a relatively small print run, with approximately 7,300 copies.
7,003. I gotta turn my volume up.
Due to its later popularity and success, subsequent printings and reprints have added to the overall number of copies in circulation. This comic series eventually became the basis for the popular TV show of the same name.
Okay, so Walking Dead #1, a really high grade one's a couple $1,000s. They only made 7,500. Oh, look how creepy this animatronic is. Oh, that scared me for a second. Awesome. Sure, I'll try to walk on Halloween so we can see all the costumes and stuff. We'll see how I feel. I'm still trying to feel out my energy again. But yeah, so Walking Dead #1, 7,500, that's how many on average Funko Pops were made. And that's considered a low print run. Whereas more popular comics, they would print 100,000 still. I'm gonna have a little water. A little bit of water. Hope you guys are enjoying my ChatGPT. I don't know if this is a boring stream with me walking around asking ChatGPT questions I have on my mind, or if it's a little bit of an interesting. Okay, let's if you guys want me to ask ChatGPT anything more interesting related to comics or something cool, and not like if it's going to destroy us, because I think that's the first question everyone who ever asked ChatGPT asks. and then they go on to ask something else. Okay, let me try this. Can you list the top 10 greatest 1980s independent comic books?
Certainly. The 1980s were a pivotal decade for independent comic books, and many influential titles emerged during that time. Here's a list of 10 of the most significant independent comic books from the 1980s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, good pick, good pick.
Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This comic book series about anthropomorphic turtles became a cultural phenomenon. Cerebus by Dave Sim.
Oh, Cerebus is fantastic.
Series known for its complex narrative and unique storytelling. Love and Rockets by Gilbert.
Oh, Love and Rockets is fantastic too.
Pioneering comic series exploring the lives of characters in the fictional towns of Palomar and Hoppers. The Rocketeer by Dave Stevens.
A Rocketeer, that's one of my favorites.
Adventure series set in the 1930s, known for its art and style. American Splendor by Harvey Pekar, a series of
Oh, American Splendor is great too.
that provided a unique window into everyday life. The Tick by Ben Edlund.
Oh, I love The Tick as well.
A superhero parody that gained a dedicated following. ElfQuest by Wendy and Richard Pinney.
I do like ElfQuest. Some people don't like ElfQuest. I really like ElfQuest.
The Crow by James O'Barr, a dark and gothic
The Crow is good too. I'm still trying to collect my early Crow appearances. Oh, Concrete is one of my all-time favorite comics.
Bone by Jeff Smith.
Bone is good too.
Combines humor and adventure, reminiscent of classic cartoons and comics. These independent comics had a significant impact on the medium and played a key role in the development of the comic book industry during the 1980s.
See, I think ChatGPT is cool. It just came up with a list of 10 of some of my all-time favorite indie comics from the 80s. Yeah, that was actually pretty awesome. Thank you, Reed. I appreciate that you enjoyed the walks. Let's try another decade. Hey, Daredevil NYC. Thanks. I'm happy you enjoy the walks. I'm gonna go down Wife, I think. Doing the big loop today. Okay. Can you tell me what the 10 greatest 1970s underground comics are? Oops, it didn't pick up.
The 1970s were a fertile period for underground comics, with many groundbreaking and influential titles. Here are 10 of the greatest underground comics from that decade. Zap Comics, created by R. Crumb and others.
Oh, I love Zap Comics.
One of the foundational works of the underground comics movement. The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers.
Oh, that's another good one.
Shelton. It's known for its countercultural humor and iconic characters. Cocaine Comics, a psychedelic and surreal.
Oh, I just got a couple of those a month ago.
Dirty Duck, created by Bobby London. It's known for its satirical and irreverent humor. Linens Comics, an all-female underground comic series that explored feminist themes and issues. Howard the Duck, created by Steve Gerber and Val Maverick.
Oh, Howard.
It's a satirical and subversive comic book published by Marvel Comics. Coochie Cootie Men's Comics, created by Justin Green. This comic delves into personal experiences and existential themes. Slow Death Funnies, an anthology series that featured various artists and was focused on environmental and ecological concerns. Binky Brown Meets the Holy Virgin Mary, created by Justin Green.
Oh, I have
This is
that.
a seminal autobiographical work that explores religion and personal issues. The Checkered Demon, created by S. Clay Wilson. This series is known for its extreme and transgressive content. These underground comics challenged societal norms and pushed the boundaries of the medium, making them significant works in the history of comics.
All right, there's a couple there I haven't heard of or don't have, so I'm actually going to add that to my list of, sure, horror comics are the best. You want me to ask the best comics or the best covers? Maybe I'll do best comics first. We'll do some, that was actually a really awesome underground list. I probably have 7 out of the 10 that I've collected a ton of, or the 1 or 2 that they actually printed. Okay, let's ask that. What were the best horror comics from the 1960s and 70s?
The 1960s and 1970s saw a resurgence of horror comics, and many notable titles emerged during this period. Here are some of the best horror comics from that era. 1. Tales from the Crypt, part of Eck Comics line. This series featured gruesome and often ironic horror tales. It's one of the most iconic horror comics of all time. 2. Creepy and Eerie. These magazines, published by Warren Publishing, showcase various horror and supernatural stories, often with exceptional artwork. 3. Swamp Thing, created by Len Wein.
There you go, Swamp Thing.
This DC comic series introduced a new take on horror, with a character deeply rooted in the supernatural and the macabre. 4. the adventures of a character who transformed into a werewolf. 6. House of Secrets and House of Mystery. DC Comics mystery and horror anthologies featured various eerie tales and introduced characters like Swamp Thing and Kane, the caretaker of the House of Mystery. 7. Vampirella. This magazine featured a vampire character and a mix of horror, science fiction, and fantasy stories, often with a dose of sensuality. 8. Ghost Rider. The 1970s version of Ghost Rider, created by Roy Thomas and Gary Friedrich, brought supernatural elements and motorcycles together. 9. Chamber of Chills, a series published by Marvel Comics in the 1970s, known for its chilling horror stories. 10. Vault of Horror, another classic Comics title. This series was part of the horror comics boom in the 50s, but had a resurgence of popularity during the 1960s and 70s. These horror comics from the 60s and 70s offered a range of terrifying and supernatural tales that captivated readers during a period of renewed interest in the genre.
All right, that was pretty cool. I didn't want to talk over it because I was enjoying its list. That was a lot of really good comics. I was just thinking recently that I want to get the... they have these really thick omnibuses for the Vampirella magazines. I kind of want to get all those. Harold's Head is cool. I think the full run of them, Lars. Was there like 4 or 5? I forget. Maybe it's less than that. I just know that I've picked up a bunch of them over the years. All right. Is there anything you guys want me to talk about, or is my brain just feels empty? That's why I grabbed ChatGPT. I figured I could just ask it for some ideas. I wonder, you know what? I wonder if AI lets you play games like 20 questions. Like, I'm very interested if it's able to do that. Are you able to play games like 20 questions? If you are, can you think up a cartoon character and I'll start asking you questions?
Yes, I can play a text-based version of 20 questions. Go ahead and think of a cartoon character, and I'll do my best to answer your questions to guess who you're thinking of.
Okay,
You can start asking your questions whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm confused. Am I supposed to guess? Okay. Oops. I'm gonna ask. I don't know if it actually works or not. I know they're all really fun horror books. I have a ton of them. But yeah, that was actually a really fun list. That's why I wasn't talking. I was just listening. All right, let's see. Yeah, Hellraiser's pretty cool. Let's Harold's Head. I've never read it, so I can't off the top of my head tell you what it's about, but I'm gonna ask. Can you give me information about Harold's Head by Rand Holmes, a comic book from the 1970s?
I'm sorry, but I couldn't find any information about a comic book titled Harold's Head by Rand Holmes from the 1970s in my database. It's possible that it might be a less well-known or more obscure comic that isn't widely documented.
Maybe
If you have more
I said
specific
Harold's
details
Head,
or
maybe that
questions
messed it up.
about Please feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to assist you.
Okay. Can you look for Harold Head? How about Harold Head? You know, I want to go by the water.
I'm also not aware of a comic book titled Harold Head.
Okay.
It's possible that this might be
ChatGPT 3.5 doesn't have enough information.
Isn't well documented in my database. If you have any additional information or specific questions about it, please provide more details, and I'll try to assist you further.
Okay, let me see if it remembers the game I was trying to play. Is the character from a comic strip or a comic book?
The character I'm thinking of is from a comic book, not a comic strip. You can continue asking questions to narrow down your guess.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Was the character published in Marvel Comics?
Yes, the character I'm thinking of was published by Marvel Comics.
Okay, sweet. Is there red in its costume?
No, the character I'm thinking of does not have a red costume.
Okay, you guys have any guess? It's a Marvel character. Did the character first appear in the 1960s?
No, the character I'm thinking of did not first appear in the 1960s.
Okay. Oh, it's windy. Did the character first appear in the 1970s?
Thank you for the hint. Based on the information you provided, the character first appeared in the 1970s. Please continue with your questions, and I'll do my best to...
Okay, I don't know if it's working or not. Is the character Ghost Rider?
Yes, you got it. The character I was thinking of is Ghost Rider. Well done. If you'd like to play another round or have more questions, feel free to let me know.
Okay, that was cool. I'm guessing it thought Ghost Rider because I had previously asked it about horror comics, so probably use that list to come up with the character to think about. How cool is that? It's too windy by the water. I can't even hear myself, and you guys probably can't hear me. That was actually kind of fun. What else can we challenge? Let's see, my brain is blank. Can you give me an interesting comic book related topic to talk about?
Certainly. How about discussing the impact of comic books on popular culture and their evolution from niche entertainment to influencing mainstream media, such as movies and television shows? You can explore the cultural significance, adaptations, and the way comics have shaped storytelling in various forms of media.
Blade would be a good guess too. The only reason why I picked Ghost Rider was because I had previously asked it about horror comics and it had Ghost Rider on the list. So sometimes ChatGPT has like a short-term memory, so use stuff you've recently talked about. It's cold tonight. Can anyone look up the temperature in New York City? It feels like it's about 55 right now. I feel very chilly. So that question, the topic you talked about was comic books affecting pop culture. I would say, for me, I was born in 76. So obviously I don't have any firsthand experience about when Superman first came out. But I'm assuming when Superman came out, pretty soon after that was the serials, right? How many years after the first Superman comic came out did they release a serial movie of Superman?
The first live-action Superman serial movie, titled Superman and starring Kirk Allen, was released in 1948.
So
The first Superman comic, Action Comics #1, was published in 1938. Therefore, the serial movie was released approximately 10 years after the first Superman comic came out.
Yeah, 52, 53. That's exactly what it feels like right now. It's cold, but not so cold that I don't want to be outside. So that's interesting to me. The first Superman serial movie came out about 10 years after it came out. So think of that timeline, 10 years. It makes me think, how many years after the first comic book appearance of Miles Morales did the Into the Spider-Verse movie come out? So we're going to do some modern parallels.
Miles Morales made his first comic book appearance in Ultimate Fallout #4, which was published in 2011. The animated film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was released in 2018. Therefore, the movie came out approximately 7 years after Miles Morales' first comic book appearance.
Okay, so the first Miles Morales major movie came out about 7 years after the first comic book. First Superman serial movie came out about 10 years after the first comic book. So I got a lot of times people talk to me and they're like, don't buy modern comics. They're a waste of money. Just buy the old stuff. But usually this is old 40, 50-year-old dudes who grew up with comics or older who love their childhood. So they don't see any value in new stuff. But I see all these parallels between new comics and what's happening in the world of pop culture and old comics. Yeah, let me ask what year the Fleischer came out, because I absolutely love the Fleischer. So yeah, it said 1948 was the first serial, so it would have been like a black and white, short 10-minute video that came before a major movie. What year did the Fleischer Studios release a Superman cartoon?
Fleischer Studios released the first Superman cartoon series in 1941. These animated shorts are often celebrated for their high-quality animation and are considered classics in the history of animation.
So the Fleischer Superman cartoons came out 2 years after the Superman. How crazy is that? Those Fleischer Superman cartoons, if you have not watched them, you should. Do yourself a favor. They are absolutely stunning. Everything is hand-painted, so it's just a very rich-looking animation. They are absolutely stunning. I love them. Let me ask what the first superhero movie was. Oh, really? There's my mom adding trivia that ChatGPT would add. So the actor that played the first Superman grew up in the town. I guess it's the next town right next to the town my mom grew up.
It seems like your message is incomplete.
Oops.
Could you please provide more context or clarify what you'd like to know or discuss related to
ChatGPT is asking me because I hit the button. You know, Fleischer Studio would be like top-end animation today. But that's so cool. So the original Superman actor grew up in the town right next to where my mom grew up. Probably around, maybe 10, 20 years before my mom was born. That is really cool. Yeah, no, Fleischer Studios is just high quality animation. I absolutely love watching it. I think it's just so beautiful. They don't make 2D animation like that anymore, except for Studio Ghibli. I would say Studio Ghibli is the same level as Fleischer Studios. Oh, really? You have an autographed photo of it? Oh, that's so cool. That's really cool. Let me see. What was the first superhero movie ever made?
The first superhero movie ever made is widely considered to be the 1941 serial The Adventures of Captain Marvel. This 12-chapter serial featured the superhero Captain Marvel, also known as Shazam, and it predates many other well-known superhero films. It played a significant role in the early history of superhero cinema.
I think George Reeves is actually the second or third Superman, if I remember correctly. Not 100% sure. George Reeves is what Superman?
George Reeves portrayed Superman in the popular 1950s TV series titled Adventures of Superman. He is often associated with being the first actor to play Superman in live-action television.
So he was the first live-action television Superman, but not the serial Superman, which predated it probably about 5 years. What actor played the original Superman in the original serial series? And where did he grow up?
The original actor who played Superman in the 1948 serial series, titled Superman, was Kirk Alyn. He was born in Oxford, New Jersey, USA, and he grew up in that region.
So I didn't give me...
Kirk Alyn was the first actor to portray Superman in a live-action format, and his performance in the serial was influential in the early history of superhero cinema.
All right, interesting. So it says he grew up in New Jersey. It didn't give me a exact town. Sometimes we don't get all the information, but I mean, how cool is that? What did my... Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay, so my mom just gave me a bit of information that connects to my own comic collecting story. So back in the 1970s, the house that my mom grew up in was, some of the floors were rented out as apartments, I believe. Mom, you can correct me at any time. But apparently that guy that grew up, he grew up playing with the actor that played Superman. So they were friends as kids. And in the 1970s, this guy had rented out an apartment in the house that my mom grew up in. And when he moved out, I mean, by then, you know, my mom was an adult, so she was living with my dad and my brother in New Jersey, elsewhere. But from those comic books, he just left a whole box of comic books behind, probably like 100, 150 Golden Age comics, like absolutely amazing, pretty decent high-grade comic books from the 1940s and 50s. I think mostly the 1940s. So as a kid, my grandma had this whole stash of Golden Age comics. So every birthday, every Christmas, I would get one Golden Age comic from my grandma. Now, I was the younger cousin. I'm not 100% sure if she gave them to my cousins that lived in Washington State. I'm not 100%. Mom, do you know if Chrissy's kids got comics from grandma? That I don't know. But my oldest cousin, he's about, I think, 10 years older than me. He also got comics, but because I was one of the younger cousins, I got the cartoon stuff. So I got Funny Folks, Ha, comics like that, Disney comics. So that's why I really enjoy collecting those. And I'll have the button. That's awesome. Canada Beaver Comics #1 has Harold Head. I'll have to check it out, Mark. So but my older cousin got the more superhero stuff. So he got like exciting comics. He got some Schomburg stuff, and just some general superhero stuff. I think my brother got some comics too. I remember my brother having some Old World's Finest with Superman and Batman on the cover. Were absolutely amazing. I think my brother tore them up reading them though, because I don't remember those surviving very long. I just remember it around the house a little bit. But yeah, and one of the few when I sold my comics in 1993, I regret I sold 2 superhero comics I ended up getting from my grandma, a Superman 52 and a Batman 40, and I really regret selling those 2. One was stolen and one was sold. The one that was stolen was my sister was supposed to be watching the garage sale, but she ran off with a friend. So while I was moving boxes upstairs, someone decided to come along and take a Superman number 52 for free. Oh my gosh, that still stings a little bit. Not mad at my sister though. She was just doing little kid things. That's fine. I'm just mad at the person that stole it. And Batman 40, which was an awesome Joker cover. And both books were in probably like 7.0, 8.0 condition. Really high grade. But when I sold all my comics, I kept 2 comics. I kept G.I. Joe 21, really beat up. It was my favorite comic that I read like crazy as a kid. And a Funny Folks #3 that I got from my grandma. Like this guy came in. I was having a garage sale. I did it every weekend for like 2 months, and I was selling my comics. And then this one guy came in who was drunk as a skunk, and he was like, "I want to buy all your comics, like all the comics." And so he agreed to $800 to buy the whole collection what was left. So I was like, "Oh, sure." But then I thought, "Oh crap, I need to grab." So I was digging really quick, trying to grab the stuff from my grandma, and trying to grab that G.I. Joe. So I found those 2. I said, "Can I keep those 2?" He's like, "Yeah, you keep those." I tried to keep all the Gru comics because I absolutely love Gru. But the guy wanted to hit the Gru stuff, so off that went. But that was one of my big regrets. So that's actually, I'm kind of happy he took the Gru comics, because in 1998 into 1999, I think, probably 1999, is when I started collecting the Gru series again to get them back. Because for me, it felt like a decade, 2 decades, but it was really only from 93 to 99, so 6 years. But those 6 years, I really regretted selling the Gru comics. So I ended up picking those all up in the late 90s, 99, I think. And so that kind of got me back in comics. If I had kept the Gru, maybe I wouldn't have gone back into comics. But no. Honestly, I probably would have got back into them. Of course, the comics I had as a kid were absolutely torn up and destroyed. Because, I read them. My mom read them. I think at one point I even gave my mom like 20 of my Gru comics because she enjoyed reading them. And I always thought it was cool that she was into them as well, because they're just funny. And yeah, no, that's super cool that Shazam was much more popular. Like Superman came out, Superman was super popular, but then Shazam came out like kind of copying Superman, and it grew up even bigger. I think more Shazam comics sold than Superman comics back then. So I'm not surprised that was the first one to be made into a movie. And that was only a couple years after the comic came out. In fact, I don't even know what year. Let me ask ChatGPT. How many months after the first appearance of Superman was the first appearance of Captain Marvel Shazam? Oops, did I not? How many months after the first appearance of Superman was the first appearance of Captain Marvel Shazam?
Captain Marvel, also known as Shazam, first appeared in Wiz Comics #2 in February 1940, while Superman made his debut in Action Comics #1 in June 1938. The first appearance of Captain Marvel occurred approximately 1 year and 8 months after the first appearance of Superman.
So, little over a year later, Shazam was created, or Captain Marvel was created. That's pretty cool. That's actually not that far apart. I'm curious. Wait, let me go back. When did Batman first appear?
Batman first appeared in Detective Comics #27, which was published in May 1939.
So Batman was, about a year later? Superman? Okay, very interesting. When was the first Batman movie made?
The first Batman movie was released in 1966. It was titled Batman.
No, not that one. I gotta ask
The
this.
movie and was based on
Okay.
the popular 1960s television series.
I don't know how to end it. It wants to continue its conversation. When was the first Batman serial made?
The first Batman serial, titled Batman and Robin, was produced in 1949 by Columbia Pictures.
Okay,
It
so
was a 15-chapter movie serial and was one of the early adaptations of the Batman character for the screen.
Batman came out about a year after the Superman serial. So I guess the Superman serial did really well, and DC was like, "Oh, let's do Batman as well," or I guess they would have sold off the rights. All right, water break. Getting all the information tonight. This is actually quite fun. I'm enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying learning a whole bunch of nerdy comic stuff. Okay, water break. Oxford. Okay, Oxford is Western New Jersey. Okay. So yeah, just around the same area as Dover and Morton. Okay, cool. I guess I'm gonna just keep going this way. I'm just kind of going around in circles tonight. Did I lose you? Oh no, you know what? I lost all the chat. All right, I have to catch up in chat. I wasn't. Hollywoodland with Ben Affleck was great. Yeah, Mom, I want to ask you one day all about the guy you left behind his comic stuff, because that's a big part of my comic story. Yeah, and so my cousin, he went to the Joe Kubert School in Dover, and he went on to become actually a pretty successful cartoonist, not in printed work, but in animation. So if you watch SpongeBob, you'll see his name, Derek Dryman, in really big letters. It'll say like art direction by, and he's one of the biggest names that comes up at the beginning of SpongeBob. He worked on Rocko's Modern Life and a few other Nickelodeon animations. So when I talked to him about it, he did say that those comic books he got from my grandma really just piqued his interest, because they were just like these weird old comic books that are older than, the newer modern stuff that we all were getting at the time. And it really influenced him into his interest of comics, which is kind of cool, because as you know, I have a whole YouTube channel where I'm showing tons of comics, talking about comics, collecting comic books. So I think I also kind of think of my grandma as someone who also helped influence me in my love of comics. Because every year I would get this package. She would just, it'd be such a random package of fun stuff, like stuff she would have just picked up at garage sales, or stuff that was from my aunts or uncles that they had, or just stuff that she found at like thrift stores. And she'd make up this little bundle of 10 or 15 fun objects, and I absolutely, her presents were always my favorite ones to open. Yeah, no, it's super, super, super awesome. I think, you know, if you follow him on Instagram, Derek Dryman, he does drawings almost daily in his style, and they look so freaking cool. I absolutely love seeing the treasure of artwork that he still creates almost on a daily history. And then he was, I got to talk to him more because he was telling me, you know, he talked to his dad. So my uncle, I forget which of my uncles found the comics. I'm thinking Uncle Dave found them, I think, but it might have been Uncle Clint. One of the two of them actually found the box of comics. So he was telling me the whole story of finding the collection. And, you know, I mean, this was the 1970s. So the comics hadn't, you know, I sold my Batman 40 for $70. Right, today I've tried to rebuy it at Comic-Con 4 years ago, and at the time it was $400 or $500. And Allison's like, "Oh, you can't spend $400 or $500." Today, that same exact issue in about the same grade, about a 7.0, is like $2,000 to $3,000. Kind of wish I had just paid $400. Double regret. Oh, that's super cool, guy. Yeah, no, I lived just a few blocks away from the Joe Kubert School, and all summer, like 92, 90, no, I think 93, all summer 93. Oh, he directed Hotel Transylvania. I thought he just wrote it. Did he actually direct Hotel Transylvania? That's amazing. That is super cool. All summer 93, I sold comic books. I would put a big giant sign on Route 46 that just said comic books. Like, I would draw it black, I would outline it so that the word comic books would just pop out. So I wouldn't be surprised if your friend bought some comic books at my garage sale, if he was at Joe Kubert in 93. Maybe he bought my Batman. Does he have a Batman 40 in high grade that he wants to sell for a lot more than the $70 I sold it for? I would love to have my original copy back. That would throw me so much. You know, it's funny. So when you come to a comic book like Batman 40, there's probably not a lot left in the world. Let's say a few hundred, maybe 1,000. I look at every single graded one to see, because back in the day, like in the late 80s, I thought, you know, I would start selling comic books. So I would get the price guides and I would hand pencil really badly, because I'd reprice stuff all the time. So I like destroyed my comics, but I would put a price on the back of the comic. I feel like my Batman 40, I might have put a price on the back of the comic in pencil. So I'm always looking to see if I recognize my handwriting on the back of the comic. Sweet. Yeah, he does a lot of really awesome, well, he does, you know, SpongeBob related stuff, but he also does stuff related to, you know, his childhood. All the cool, like, 70s and 80s cartoons and whatnot. His artwork is a ton of fun. Sending him followers his way. Super cool. All right, that's fun. Let me, I've lost topics. What's the next topic? What do you guys want me to talk about? That's so funny. I lost the chat. The chat wasn't scrolling anymore, so I didn't even see half the chat that people were talking about. Oh, okay. So this all comes back to people being kind of negative to modern comics, but I see so many parallels with, you know, Miles Morales. I think has been one of the biggest, most popular comic-related things in the last few years. So I don't, you know. Oh, Alvin and Chipmunk Summer Special in the 71. That's awesome, Lars. My very first comic I remember was a yellow cover Tom and Jerry book. I don't remember the exact image. I just remember it being yellow. And I think there's 3 or 4 comics that came out in the late 70s, early 80s that would match that. I just lost my chat GPT. Nope. Where is it? Where did it go? I want to be able to ask questions because that's the fun part of this. go. Okay, I got it open. So I just have this vague memory. I must have been 4 or 5 years old because we moved to my hometown when I was 4. So I'm assuming it was probably shortly after that. We went to the local bookstore, and I just remember my brother was really excited to take me to the comic shop and help me pick out a comic book. So I remember picking out a Tom and Jerry because I really liked Tom and Jerry at the time. Oh, really? Oh my gosh, Mom, I did not know that. Oh my gosh, that is so fucking cool. I'll have to, do you know which episode, Mom? If you know the episode, send me a link on Facebook. I have to check that out. That is so freaking cool. So, oh, that's why I keep losing my train of thought. That's why I'm enjoying having this ChatGPT. What was the first cartoon appearance of Miles Morales?
Miles Morales made his first animated appearance in the 2018 animated film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
No, but he must have been...
This groundbreaking film featured Miles Morales as one of the central characters and introduced him to a wider audience.
I'm pretty sure he showed up before that, though, in one of the Disney XD shows, correct? I thought Miles showed up earlier than that in one of the Disney XD shows.
You're correct. I apologize for the oversight. Miles Morales made his first animated television appearance in the Disney XD series Ultimate Spider-Man. He appeared in the 4th season of the show, which aired in 2016, before his big screen debut in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Mom, do you know if you have a picture of that water heater? Because I don't know it off the top of my head. So 2016 was Miles Morales' first appearance in a cartoon. So that was 5 years after his first comic appearance. So, Shazam took a year. Superman took, 2 years to do the animation, 9 years to do the movie. Batman took 9 years to do his movie. So I feel like modern comics are still doing the same thing. You have Miles Morales, you have Spider-Gwen, you have Miss Marvel, you had the Blue Beetle. He came out, like the Jaime Reyes version came out in the comics, 10 years ago. So I feel like a lot of modern comics come out, and then the modern movies and cartoons come out in about the same time frame. So I see all these parallels between the new stuff, which I like. I think it's really fantastic. I love the Into the Spider-Verse movies, both of them. Really, really good. So my thought is I don't mind having my money invested into Miles Morales comics. Every time someone says, oh, because I have 15 copies, everyone's like, oh, you should sell those. Cash out now before they go to zero. And I'm thinking, no, Miles Morales has been such a successful character that there's an army of 8 to 12-year-olds. Well, if the first movie came out in 2018, so 5, so they're probably 13, 14-year-olds that grew up with that first movie, that in 10, 15 years, they're going to be just rabid Miles Morales collectors. Yeah, Mom, I was just thinking how today with the phone, it's just so easy to take pictures, but there's so many memories and so many things that I wish I had taken pictures of when I was a kid. Because you don't think about it. Just taking a picture of Grandma's living room. What I really, really hope is ChatGPT gets really good at helping me recreate images that I can think of. I've done that a little bit with the flea markets, and the images are okay. They're not great. It took me a little while to train it to know what a LeBaron 1984 in brown looks like. But I do have strong memories of, it must have been a wood furnace. You had the fireplace right here, and then you had something right here that I think was a wood furnace that Grandma had a TV on top of, and then her piano was right here, and then she had the table right here, and on the table was usually a lot of photo albums and boxes of that kind of stuff. So we got the fireplace. I pictured the fireplace, and then I can't remember if it was a wood stove or what it was with the TV on top, but on the floor, Grandma had this big giant rubber train that I just remember so much, right? I loved that train so much. I remember how excited I would be to go to Grandma's house so that I could sit and play with that rubber train for 10 minutes or whatever long I was able to play with it. I wish I had pictures of that train. I wish I had pictures of just the living room. I want to see it. It's just crazy. There's all these memories and places I went to as a kid that I don't have a physical representation to look to kind of just reinforce the memory. I'm trying to think. Let me see if you remember. Okay, so you had the fireplace right here. And then to the right, I remember she had 2 aisles, right? One aisle, I think it was just shelves of stuff. And then the middle aisle that had couches with a bunch of stuff on it. And then there was another set of couches, the far aisle. So you could walk down the right aisle and you would go to the stairwell that had the carved Indian head. Is that what it was? Okay, so it probably was just a really old TV then that she had another TV on top of. That would make sense. I was trying to remember. It's been a blank spot in my memory trying to remember what the TV was on top of. Because I remember she would have the small, newer TV on top and then something big underneath, and I couldn't remember. So I've been trying to remember in my head for the longest time. All right, awesome. Memory filled in. Boop, 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 boop. Resolution. The car soldier had always thought that was super cool. And then I remember, all right, so you had the middle aisle facing this way. You had the couches with stuff on it. And then I think she had a closet right behind the couches. I remember she showed me a really cool $5 gold coin that she had won or something at that point. That was in the closet. So I always thought about that gold coin. That was in my head for the longest time. And then I think upstairs, at the top of the stairs, you go up the stairs. Right at the top of the stairs, you had the closet with the glass window. And I kind of remember that's where she had the comics. At one point, she had me go through the comics and help pull out a few to sell to help pay a couple bills. And I think that's when I got my Batman 40, because I convinced her to sell it to me for like 10 or 20 bucks. And I wish I still had that. Oh, he carved that. Oh, that is cool. Mom, what year was Uncle Ernie born? It probably got melted down and after the big fire. It's probably just in the ground somewhere, I'm assuming. Because every time I buy old comic books, I'm always thinking, like, which family member might connect with that comic book? Because, you know, I think it's so cool when I literally just filmed last night. I got my last Katie Keene. I have a full set now of Katie Keene number 1 through 62. It took me about 6 years. So Uncle Ernie was about 10 years younger than Grandma, like 10, 15. So he would have grown up 1940. Wow, okay. So 1940s, would Uncle Ernie have, you think he would have picked up a lot of like Western comic books in the 1940s? I have a feeling that he probably would, like when he was growing up, he probably picked up all the really cool Western comics. I feel like that's something that he would have had, or at least a couple. But yeah, you know, everyone, my mom was born in early 50s. So by the late 50s is when Katie Keene was going pretty strong. So I just found out recently that she actually read those and cut out the paper dolls and whatnot when she was probably about 8 to 10 years old. I think that's so cool. I love it. I love connecting pop culture things to my family. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, yeah, I am not shocked by that then. I bet he had a really epic Western comic collection. So I kind of like picking up those old school Westerns because it kind of makes me think of my Uncle Ernie, because he's really into, well, it's my mom's uncle, so my great Uncle Ernie. He was into Westerns and whatnot. Yeah, I think I have a couple of Tom Mix. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll have to look them up. Need a water break. I'm getting a little hungry. I'm burning up the calories walking. I'm really happy I'm walking for the second day in a row though. My arm has just been hurting so much lately that I just didn't think I could do it, but I actually feel pretty good right now. Lars, I think I have probably about 2/3 of it. Not 100% sure because it's not a set that I've like cataloged to make sure I had them all. It's more like every time I see a box with 10 of them for like a buck or two, I just grab the box. I think they're super cool though. I love the especially the 80s. I just like the size of them and whatnot. I think they're just really cool. You got the first New Mutants. You have the Captain Marvel Life and Death, which is a pretty awesome one. I remember, I just had a memory just hit my head. It was, Lars is in Norway, I believe. Lars, am I getting it wrong? Are you in Sweden? I'm drawing, my brain just went totally blank. What I really like about Lars is he gives me a lot of comic recommendations of comics that are more European and less American. And I think it's really cool just to be exposed to other comics and whatnot. As well as a lot of just like indie books and all kinds of fun, awesome stuff. All right. So a memory I just had, it was, I think, 1989. There was a little store in my hometown that was called Odd Lot, I think, Job Lot, something like that. It was, a discount store. And at one point, they had a stack of 20 of the Roger Rabbit graphic novels for like $0.25 each. Oh, well, Donald Duck, I think, was popular worldwide, so that doesn't surprise me at all, actually. Norway, all right, sweet. My brain's not that broken. Appreciate you, Lars. So I was born around the same time as you, Mom, right? So she would have had like late 50s, early 60s Donald Duck comics, which would make sense. But that's cool. Now I might need to get Lars to find me some Norwegian Donald Duck comics from the late 50s, early 60s for my collection. I would actually really like to have a few, just kind of in honor of mine. That'd be cool. Mai was one of my mom's best friends. So growing up, she was kind of like a second mom. Sadly, we lost her 8 years ago, and I still miss her to this day. But yeah, that's cool. Getting a little emotional. Well, I mean, technically, I would need the Swedish versions, but I'm assuming there would be similar comics in there. A bit old. Okay, so she probably like late 50s then, probably. Late 50s would be her key window. It's funny, I have so many comic books that I just associate with people, and I kind of like doing that. It's kind of fun to me when I see certain comics. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of my brother, or other comics like, oh, that's my sister, or that's my little siblings, or my mom. I love that kind of stuff. Super, super dope. I lost my story again. Getting distracted. So late 80s, there was a Job Lot. They had a whole stack of the Roger Rabbit Marvel graphic novels for $0.25 a piece. So I bought the whole stack. That was my first. I'm going to be a flipper. I just remember buying the whole stack thinking I'd sell them for like $3 each. And I think I dragged those around to many garage sales and flea markets and all that. Like I'd bring them up to Cape Cod to sell. I put them out at garage sales. I don't think I sold any until the late 90s. It probably took me about 12 years before they were sellable. Ooh, it's windy. It just goes to show you that it's one of the lessons I learned, that a lot of stuff, it has popularity, then the popularity dips as the kids that liked it grow up a bit. So let's say something comes out when you're 10 years old, you absolutely love it. By the time you're 13, it's childish. So it loses interest for about 10 years. And then when you go from 13 to 23, you're done with college, you start remembering that stuff you loved as a kid and you get kind of nostalgic, then it pops up again. So I think that's what happened with those Roger Rabbit books. And I see it all the time. Hey, Alexander. We've just been walking around the neighborhood talking to ChatGPT a little bit, talking comics and the history of comics. Now, one cool thing I have from Norway is I have probably 6 or 7 Ziggy items in my collection. So there is some Ziggy stuff in Norway. It's kind of rare. I don't get it that often, but when I do find it, it feels like it's such a score. I'm doing good. Doing good. I got COVID probably 5-6 weeks ago, like right before I stopped streaming on this channel, because my brain, I just had really bad brain fog, and it was driving me, I couldn't even say brain fog, I was saying brain frog. I couldn't even say it, my brain, and I just kept forgetting things, and it was driving me nuts. So I stopped streaming because I kind of lost my confidence, because I felt like I was a babbling idiot. So that took me like a week or two to physically feel better, but I still had, my brain was kind of messed up. And then I decided I needed to clean the storage basement up. So Jason came over and he helped me move just a whole pile of records. And while I was moving them, I pulled my arm or something where it's, I just had really bad tennis elbow since. And, okay, enjoy on the TV, Mom. And my arm has been messed up for the last 3 weeks. It just, some days it's a little better. Other days I feel like I'm having a heart attack because it hurts so much. And I've had bad tennis elbow in my arm since I was a kid. I think I was, probably 15 or 16. I would throw the baseball in the backyard like a ton. And there's one year I just messed up both my elbows. I remember we went to the ocean and my elbows were just messed up. So ever since then, every year or two, I end up doing something that re-injures it. And because of that, like, it happened again moving these records, and I'm just like, I've been really struggling with it. But finally, 2 days ago, I was like, or 3 days ago, I was like, I have to get back out walking, because I do like walking because it makes me feel good. It's just good for my health. And but I wasn't confident yet to do a walk, so I just walked for 10,000 steps and it worked fine. So last night I was like, I'm gonna try to do a walk and talk again, and it was wonderful. So that's why I'm kind of back. So I appreciate all you guys. Greenberg the Vampire. I'm not familiar with Greenberg the Vampire. I'll have to check it out. And then what's the Amazing Digital Circus? I'm not sure what that. All right, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. I'm gonna learn about these things. Can you tell me some information about the Amazing Digital Circus?
I couldn't find specific information about the Amazing Digital Circus in my training data up to September 2021.
Okay.
It's possible that it's a more recent event or organization, or it might not be widely known or documented.
All right, so I'm on
If you have
ChatGPT.
more context or details, please provide them, and I'll do my best to assist you further.
Okay, so I'm assuming the Amazing Digital Circus is a brand new thing. I'm not familiar with it, and ChatGPT is not updated yet for that. When this app goes to Bard, I prefer Bard because Bard will check modern information. Can you give me some information about Greenberg the Vampire?
I'm not aware of a character or entity called Greenberg the Vampire in my training data.
So
up
I'm
to September
okay. Greenberg the
2020.
Vampire is new as well.
It's possible that this is a
So you guys have to give me
relatively obscure or
information.
niche reference. If
ChatGPT
you
doesn't have the
provide more
information.
Context or details, I'll do my best to assist you further.
I'm not sure. Let's go this way. I feel like I want to go this way. So I read a little bit. I recently read the 8 Billion Genies, the Collected Works book, and I thought it was really, really fun. I enjoyed that book a lot. I've been meaning to read it, and I didn't want to read my single issue, so I actually just bought the book. And then I read Orochi Volume 2. Oh, the Wolfpack Marvel graphic. I kind of liked Wolfpack as well back in the 80s. That's another one I enjoyed. So I agree with you. Orochi Volume 2, which was really cool, of a like a horror anthology. And it's 3 short stories. I love the artwork so much. That's why I enjoy reading it, just because it looks gorgeous. And I just enjoy that. And then the other book I'm halfway through that I'm still reading is Echoland. Echoland, I always like the way that they're sideways comics, so I've been meaning to read it. I'm about halfway through. I just really enjoy the artwork. Storyline is like, okay, it's not my favorite, but I enjoy the artwork. It's a magical world where different like nerd cultures kind of clash. So kind of like Transformers-esque characters in a wizard world with like monsters, and it looks interesting, and I thought it was pretty cool. Trying to think what else I read. I just read those 3. I have a whole stack of like 8 graphic novels that I need to read. I keep buying them to read them, but then I just don't have the... For me, it takes a lot of mental energy to actually read. Oh, cool. Okay. Thanks for the information, Lars. I appreciate it. Was Greenberg the Vampire one of the Marvel graphic novels from the 80s? I'll have to look it up. Oh, that sounds really interesting, Alexander. I'll have to check it out. Is there a recent thing that just came out, or has he been producing out episodes for a while? Sounds really cool, though. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear me tonight. It's so windy. Definitely, we got the fall weather blowing in here because it's like cold and windy and kind of miserable. We're gonna have to find my gloves because if it gets any more cold, I'm gonna have to bundle up. Let's see, where are we on? Roebling and North 10th. I don't want to walk too far away because we're at an hour 42 minutes. I think I'm gonna walk for about 20 more minutes. So I don't know if you guys have any more questions or stories you want me to tell. I do kind of like when my memory is triggered for things that I haven't thought about in forever. It's weird how much information you have stuck in your head. Some of it's trapped there that I think the way memory works, if it's a memory you haven't used or thought about in a long time, there's a chance it'll get deleted from your brain. But sometimes it's just wedged in there and it just takes that one little trigger and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I remember that. 86, okay, so it's an older one, okay. So I'm assuming that was one of those Marvel graphic novels. I'll have to check it out. I'm surprised ChatGPT didn't know. Sometimes AI doesn't really know until you give it more information. I see the blue light again in the sky, which, so now what's cool about ChatGPT, it's like talking to a person that has the information, but they don't remember. And you just have to ask a couple times to help trigger the information. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's the information I want to give you. All right, let me try it again. So Greenberg the Vampire. Greenberg the Vampire was a 1986 graphic novel. Can you give me a review of it?
I apologize, but I don't have access to specific reviews of individual graphic novels, including Greenberg the Vampire. If you're looking for a review of this graphic novel, I recommend checking book review websites.
They don't have information on it.
Like Goodreads or Amazon,
someone needs to review it.
Reader reviews and ratings that can provide insights into the book's content and quality.
There's a bridge in Queens, or between Queens and Brooklyn, the Kosciuszko Bridge, and it has like a light that comes off the top of it, and it shoots in the sky. So the first time I saw it, freaked me out because I'm like, what the fuck is that? But then we figured out what it was after a couple of days. Like everyone was looking it up and figuring it out. So it's fun. On certain days you can see the light really well. Other days you don't see it. Sometimes it's absolutely bright. Other days it's just kind of dim. You don't see any of it. How has the stream been? I feel like the connection seems to have been really strong today. I don't know if there's any parts where we cut out. So I don't know if they're working to get better cell sections, because I feel like I don't cut out as much, but I'm not 100% sure. It might just be the app's not telling me. So I'm hoping it's been crystal clear. Oh, this is the track. Let's take a walk around the track. Oh, you live over here? Oh, really cool, Daredevil NYC. You're a local to the neighborhood. All right, let's test this out. I think this track cuts out over on that edge a little bit. Or maybe it's maybe this edge that cuts out. No, I think it's that corner it cuts out. So we're gonna see if this works very well. I'm gonna go widescreen since it's bright over here. There we go. Oops, I gotta move the phone over though. All right, there we go. Now we have widescreen. Now, a little bit crooked. There we go. This stabilizer is so much better. The old stabilizer, every time I would adjust this, it would fail and stop working. This one kind of lets me jiggle it around a little bit. Yeah, the wind has been terrible. That I am not so shocked by. I still have to kind of solve the microphone thing. I don't know what microphone to get. That's something that I need to kind of research with ChatGPT a little bit. Or Bard. I use Bard more often. I do find though, if you guys haven't used Bard or ChatGPT, if you have a small problem in life, going and asking it how to solve the problem helps me almost every time. Like, it's such a great tool. Like, whether it's a disconnect on my router or well, my feet, right? Because when I first started walking, my feet were just killing me, and I was getting actually really depressed, thinking I wasn't going to be able to walk every day because my feet hurt too much, and it just didn't seem viable, and it was actually making me really depressed. I used ChatGPT. I asked what shoes to get, and it told me. It told me the Brooks Ghost 14. Well, it's Brooks Ghost 13 because I had a couple-year-old information, but I got the newest ones. And so I looked it up, and it was basically the shoes used by... Oh, that's cool. We can see the Empire State Building. It's all green. Someone tell me why Empire State Building's green today. So I got the Ghost 14. They're the shoes that they give to new recruits in the military. I was like, if it's good enough for basic training, it's got to be good enough for the day-to-day. And I absolutely love these shoes. I haven't had a foot problem since... There's only one time I had a foot problem where I did wear kind of crappy socks. And because of that, it caused a blister on one of my toes. But besides that, like my feet. So I use compression socks to keep the friction. So between the compression socks and the shoes, I really have not had a foot problem since. And I've walked up to 7-8 miles in a day. Yesterday, I think we did 6 or 7 miles. And like my feet felt great. My legs were a little tired. But yeah, the shoes are great. So I've been doing other things. I've been researching like this stabilizer. I researched a little bit using Bard, and I found this one cost $150, so it's about double the price of the one I was using. But the one I was using, I had to buy 2 of them, and it already broke after like 2 months. Why? No, what is Co-Creations Y3000? That seems interesting. I don't know what that is. Oh, speaking of that, we just watched Cocaine Bear last night. It was actually really funny. Kind of loosely based on a true story, I think. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. You know, not a great movie, but a funny movie. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. There's just been so many times where there'd just be a little problem where I'm like having a hard time figuring out, like, I want to rage quit. And then I'm like, oh, let me just go to Bard, ask how to fix it, and it seems to give me good information on what I need to do. Or like if I'm having software problems, I ask it like how to do the settings, and it really helps me. Like sometimes it gets it wrong, or sometimes I can't figure it out, but most of the time it gives me a good heads up of what I need to do to try to fix it. Absolutely love it. A futuristic flavor. Oh, I'm scared of that. It sounds like a chemical mess. I feel like modern food is so messed up. So many, you know, with Monsanto and everything, the chemicals and everything. That's one reason why I blame all my health problems, just from the food system being so terrible. But I might give it a try. I am kind of a Coke addict. Love Coca-Cola. It's delicious. am. I'm feeling we're at an hour and 50 minutes. I'm feeling the tiredness coming. But this is good. I woke up at like 3 or 4 today. So one of the first things I wanted to do today was get a nice walk, because I want to get back in the habit of walking every day. I think, I know. I almost feel like the trailer was more chaotic and crazy than the actual movie itself. I still enjoyed it though. I think it's still a fun watch. But yeah, could have went a lot crazier. Although it was loosely based on a true story, so I think they were trying to keep it close to the true story. They should have just went a little bit in the fiction around, like I just said, loosely based on a true story, something like that. Oh yeah, Carl Barks is a fantastic creator. That's some of the comics I had from my grandma were Carl Barks, Walt Disney comic and stories. I love collecting those. Whenever I can pick them up relatively affordably, I'll get them. I really would like to get his first work in comics, but that's going to cost me thousands. No, I didn't see Disney's Once Upon a Studio. No, I didn't see that. Was it like a behind the scenes kind of thing? That I'm not 100% aware of. Whew, it feels like such a... Oh, we still have the crickets though. It's such a fall evening. It's a little bit cloudy. It's you got the cloud there. Let me go back to regular vision instead of wide vision. It's too dark. And it's windy. There's leaves blowing around. I said it last night, but I am looking forward kind of to the snow season, because I want to have a few successful snow season videos. Hopefully, oops, let me readjust this. Readjust. Okay, there we go. I think I'm running out of brain capacity right now. Give me a good topic to talk about that's comic related.
Certainly. How about discussing the impact of diversity and representation in comic books and how it has evolved over the years?
No, I don't want to do that, because that's a lot of
This can
political
include
crap.
topics like the introduction of diverse characters, the portrayal of different backgrounds and cultures, and the influence of social issues in comics.
No, I don't want to do that. I mean, I like diverse characters in my comics, so I'm a fan of it, but I know it's very divisive. Give me another topic.
Sure. Another interesting comic-related topic is the influence of comic book adaptations in film and television on the comic book industry. You can explore how successful movies and TV shows based on comics have affected the popularity of the original comic series, the changes made in adaptations, and the feedback from both comic book fans and new audiences.
That topic's kind of boring, because I feel like the comic industry as a whole is kind of breaking down. It's not, for American comics, it's not doing so well right now, but I think it's mostly because the old school fans don't like the newer diverse stories, and the new fans don't read American comics. They have no interest in Spider-Man and Batman. They want to read really cool manga. They want to watch or read Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia and Dragon Ball and One Piece. So I feel like a lot of the young readers are just not reading American comics because they're bored of that kind of story, I guess. Oh, that sounds really fun, Alexander. I'll have to check it out. Okay. So far, I'm not enjoying the topics because I don't like going into politics. All right, give me another topic.
Of course. How about discussing the role of comic book conventions and fan culture in the comic book industry? You can explore the impact of conventions like Comic-Con, the interaction between creators and fans, and how these events have become a hub for comic-related announcements and community building.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, Comic-Con. Since I just did Comic-Con and it's fresh in my brain, I think that's a really good topic to talk about. I love Comic-Con. I think the biggest treasure or the best part about Comic-Con is being able to meet the comic creators themselves. Anyone who's going to Comic-Con just to buy the pop culture stuff, to wait in long lines to get the Funko Pops or the whatever the new exclusives, I feel like you're missing out. Because yeah, it's really, really cool stuff, but you're not meeting the creators. When you actually go to Artist Alley and you talk to the artists and the writers and the people behind the comics, even if you just, it's a short meeting, even if you just say, hello, it's so me, I love your work, just the fact that you get to let the artists know how much you enjoy they work on, I think that means so much to the creators. Because think about it, people write or they draw, they create comics, they do so in their studio at their home, and they don't get to interact with people that much. So they don't really get that in-person interaction that they get when a fan walks up to them and like, oh, hey, I love your artwork. Can you sign this comic for me? So to me, that's such a treasure, and it's so important to both creator and fan. My diversity when it comes to comic book collecting, I collect everything. If it's a comic, I want it. I don't care what country it's from, what language it's in, how good or bad the artwork is. If it's a comic, I love the medium so much, I want it all. I'm a very diverse comic collector. I don't just collect for value. I don't just collect for my favorite writers. I don't just collect for... I collect for the love of the treasure hunt and the love of completing runs and the love of finding just the most amazing comics I can find. Sometimes I find junk comics. I still enjoy those too, but sometimes I find absolutely lovely, weird, but amazing comics. Doris from the Robinsons. Okay, let's ask that. Can you tell me about the villain Doris from Meet the Robinsons?
In the Disney animated film, Meet the Robinsons, the character you're referring to is actually named Doris, or more formally, Doris the Bowler Hat Guys. Hat. Doris is a hat that is equipped with an AI, and she serves as the main antagonist in the movie. She is a technological invention created by Lewis, the young inventor in the story. Doris possesses a manipulative personality and influences Bowler Hat Guy to carry out various schemes throughout the film. Her role in the story is central to the conflict and adds a unique twist to the character dynamics.
So Doris is an evil AI villain? Okay. What do you think about the Doris character yourself?
As a machine learning model, I don't have personal opinions or feelings, so I don't have the capacity to think about or have opinions on characters or any other subject matter. However, I can provide information and analysis based on data and your questions. If you have a specific question or topic related to the Doors, band or their music, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to provide you with relevant information.
She's like, I don't want to tell you that I secretly love the character. Oh man, we're by the club right now. The music is so loud right here. It's like my soul is shaking right now. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Go review the music at 1 out of 10. Let's see. Zombie says, when I went to the first con, it was all about buying and looking at all the cool stuff and taking pictures with cosplayers. But by my second con, I was all about looking for great art and comics. Exactly. Like, it's fun to see the cosplayers and all that stuff, but the real treasure is meeting the creative teams behind your favorite stuff. Meeting the writers and artists of characters you absolutely love and interact with daily is amazing. Okay, so Axios, if you are not a artist who's had success yet, you haven't had anyone buying it, it's really hard. You almost have to give it away. You almost have to build a following that appreciates what you do to the point where you actually can start selling it. Because right now there's so much competition in the world of art that it's really hard to find people that want to buy it. So you have to create an audience of people that enjoy what you do. And once you create that audience, then you can start making some money on it, but you're gonna make less than minimum wage, right? I know people that have okay talent, not great talent, and they expect to sell a piece for $300. But then I go to Comic-Con and I see like Dan Parent selling entire Archie pages for 150 bucks, right? And he's fast because he's had so much experience drawing that for him, he can do an amazing piece in, way too windy. He can do an amazing piece probably in like an hour. So it's okay for him to charge 100 bucks. It's hard for me to say like what the route to be success as an artist, because I like my friend James, he's an amazing artist, but he doesn't sell a ton of his work. I think it should sell, and he's not asking a ton for it. But I also know people that are like kind of terrible artists that sell a lot of work just because they get themselves out there and people appreciate them. So yeah, when I look at art, I kind of value it based on what amazing art I can get from a high grade professional versus their quality versus another artist. So there's an amateur artist or artist who hasn't been established yet, but the art's amazing. You know, I'm not gonna pay as much for that if I was buying it, right? Because it doesn't have the value yet. But if I love it, it's still really cool to have. And if you really love the artist, it's okay to overpay a little bit to help support them so that they can keep creating. Oh, we're back by the club, 1 out of 10. Ooch, ooch, ooch. I gotta get past this loud music so I can hear my own brain. So in this area, or in Greenpoint, which is behind us right now, there's an artist who does like scenery or building. He does building paintings of just different locations in the neighborhood, and they're pretty fun. I think they're really cool. He doesn't charge for those. What he does is he gives them away in the neighborhood. So he'll do this absolutely stunning watercolor painting of like a bodega or one of the local buildings, and then he'll come to a place like this, and he'll do a little video, and he'll just be like this. He'll stick the painting right in the thing, and then he posts the picture, and whoever gets there first gets it for free. Now how he makes money is that he has a monthly membership that you can pay for, which is what, $5 a month or something like that. And so the members get to see that video first. So if you're a member, you have first chance to run and try to get the artwork. And then after like an hour, he'll post it on his Instagram. So I thought it was kind of a fun concept because it's super fun. It's a way you make some income with your art without having to sell each piece and the work that goes into it. Because the selling part is the hard part for most artists, right? Being able to do the art is like breathing. It's just something that you naturally want to do and you love doing. The actual selling part is a different skill that a lot of people that do art, it's not their natural habitat to sell stuff. So if it's an artist that's published, their art's gonna be worth more in general. So if you're an artist that like is not that good, but you've done lots of Marvel artwork, because of that connection, people are gonna pay more. Think of a Funko Pop. A Funko Pop is like a shitty vinyl toy, but people are willing to pay hundreds of dollars for a rare one because it's a favorite character and it's an obscure version of that character. Whereas I've seen the most amazing art toy vinyl figures that are super detailed of some unknown character, one of a kind of thing. The guy will print 10 of them and it will be like 50 bucks. So really what it is, like if you drew 2 pictures, you drew your mom, only you and your family might be interested. If you drew Spider-Man, you'll have a lot more people interested in it. So it's kind of the connection of what you're drawing, and if it's famous, will make it more valuable. If you're not published, there's no demand for what you do. You just become, doesn't matter how beautiful your artwork is, you're just an obscure artist that gets kind of lost into the shuffle of every other artist. So you have to build that following, whether it's on Instagram, on YouTube, or getting published. You have to find a way for people to notice what you do. And at the beginning, you might have to give away some of your art. Or you might have to do really cheap commissions, like you're willing to do. I'm not saying devalue yourself. What I'm saying is it's worth it to create a fan base by letting people get in on the ground floor of your artwork. Let people become fans of what you do, and then you build up a following big enough that you can actually earn what you're worth. Because especially now, if you're not making that much or nothing at all, it's better to make a very little bit, but still do the art you love. Keep it sort of as a hobby, because obviously you can't live on a $10 payment for 5 hours, 10 hours of work. But you still get to do what you love, and being able to give that piece to the next person that absolutely cherishes it clears up your mind and lets you start working on the next piece, I think. Yeah, no, and that's the thing is, sometimes you buy work when an artist is starting out before it's popular. Like, I got a free remark from David Nakayama on a comic book 5 years ago. A really cool Venom remark. He's like, I was buying the 2, and he's like, oh, do you want me to remark it? It was either free or it was like $10. It was like a really cheap price. And I was like, sure. I loved his work at the time. And this is before he was really popular. So I got that remark. It was $10 or free, something like that. I think I paid $40 total for 2 comics, 1 signed, 1 remarked. Now his remarks go for like $100 plus when you see people trying to sell them. Yeah, so if it's a really famous artist that just does a quick head sketch of a favorite character, they're going to be able to get $100 for that just because of who it is. You're basically buying a glorified autograph. Whereas if you're an unknown artist, you could do a really intricate piece of your favorite character, and you might not be able to get that much for it because people don't know who you are, right? It's like if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, if you meet Norman Reedus and you get his autograph, that is worth something. If you meet another fan of The Walking Dead that cosplays as Daryl Dixon, even if his cosplay looks amazingly like Daryl Dixon and Norman Reedus is just in his street clothes, you don't value the experience of meeting the cosplayer at all. Even though it might be a better overall experience, he might be nicer to you, he might talk to you more, he might be an amazing person, his cosplay might be amazing, but there's no value there because he's not Norman Reedus, he's not the actor playing the character, if that makes sense. But if you meet Norman Reedus and he's an absolute dick to you, I'm not saying, I mean, I've heard he's really nice. But I'm saying he's an absolute dick to you. You still think it's cool that you met Norman Reedus. So it's almost like the effect of meeting him, it doesn't matter. Like, him acting a dick is like a really bad, quick sketch. Him acting like a really nice person and hanging out with you for 20 minutes might be like a really detailed work of art. It's a similar kind of experience. You still appreciate it. So, and again, it's all about, like, for instance, I like original art. I don't have a ton, but I do pick it up occasionally. So I have Jeff Darrow pieces I paid back in the day $50 for $100, like super steals. They're worth thousands now, probably. I don't know if I'll spend thousands now because I just don't have a lot of money to spend $2,000 or $3,000 a time. But $100, $200, yeah, sure, why not? So that's what I do. You gotta find the new artists you enjoy before they kind of explode, and you get pieces while they're affordable, and then down the road, if they explode in value, you no longer can afford pieces from them, but you're thrilled to have pieces from them, and then you move on to the next artist. All right, so like for $100, I got an amazing Katie Keene head sketch from Dan Parent. It looks beautiful, I absolutely love it. It was $100, it was like nothing, right? $100 feels like such a steal. Whereas I really wanted a Sabine Rich original. She had her original watercolors up, but the original watercolors she wants like $2,000-$3,000 for. I just don't think I can spend, like, I don't know if I'm getting $2,000 or $3,000 worth of value at that point. Whereas I can buy original Katie Keene drawn pages that Bill Wagen drew in the 1950s for $500. So I can buy 4 or 5 of those original 70-year-old works of art for the same price as one modern cover painting. Oh, hey, Man in Black. Yeah, I'm happy. I feel pretty good today. After yesterday's walk, I felt really good. So I'm actually happy to be back. I brought a new app with me that lets me talk to ChatGPT, so I can actually ask questions and get a little idea response. So I think it'll be a lot easier for me to do walks when I can actually talk to AI and come up with some stuff. Exactly. The more famous the artist, the more famous the celebrity, the more expensive the price is. Right? I used to, like, for artists, there's certain artists I used to go to where the autographs are free, and now they charge $20 unless you buy something directly. So it used to be you can go up and get like 2 or 3 books signed, no problem, for free. Now they want $10 each. So as someone gets more famous, they might charge more because they only have a limited amount of time they can sign stuff. So they don't really, like Rob Liefeld, he probably would have thousands of people lining up to sign the Deadpool stuff if he gave it away for free. And it'd probably be a miserable experience for him. I know I've heard he's kind of a jerk in general, so it's probably a miserable experience for everyone involved. But he charges $100 or whatever he charges for his signatures and remarks, so it's a lot of money. So what it does is it gets the people that are there just to flip his signature and make money. They go away, and what's left is just really true fans that really, really just want to meet him and get an autograph for $100. So it kind of happens. The more famous you are, the more you have to charge. But you also have to remember the more you charge means the more previous autographs and artwork go up in value, right? If you used to be able to get a remark for free and now it's $50, it means your free remark is probably about $50 now. Because it kind of all adjusts together because there's only so much work an artist can do in their limited time in each day, right? And some work gets paid really well. If they're doing actual work for a published cover, they're going to be paid a lot more than whatever you're paying them just for a little exclusive. And the cool thing about published cover is that the artist can resell the art. They can make prints out of it. They can, it depends on the contract, but a lot of times they are able to resell the artwork. They can sell the original still, but they also have a published work that increases the interest in what they've done. We're at 2 hours and 12 minutes. I keep going. So I might cut out at any minute now. So I just want to let you guys know I appreciate you. I love you guys. It's been really fun just being able to chat again. And I'm hoping I'm able to continue doing it daily if I can, because I really want to get my strength back up. My arm actually feels really good right now. So I think walking around is helping my blood flow, kind of helping things kind of go, because I'm pretty sure I have some kind of pinched nerve in my shoulder as well. So the more I walk, it actually feels nicer. That's fun. Did I miss any? I think I got... hey, Donald. I know I'm trying to get more... I'm going to try to get more walking done if I can, because I miss doing this. Today, though, I had the anxiety of I didn't want to repeat myself. I get that a lot, and it keeps me from doing videos often. And I didn't want that. So today, I had a talking version of ChatGPT with me to be able to just ask random questions or come up with random information. And it's actually been pretty cool. I'm going to continue to have this with me if I can. Any last questions I should ask? Actually, I'm going to ask ChatGPT what it thinks. How should an artist price their artwork?
Pricing artwork can be a complex process, and it depends on various factors, including the artist's experience, the medium, the size, and the demand for their work. Here are some steps to consider when pricing artwork. Research comparable art. Look at the prices of similar artworks by other artists. This will give you a benchmark to start from. Consider costs. Calculate your expenses, including the cost of materials, your time, and overhead, studio space, marketing, etc. Factor in experience. If you're an emerging artist, you might price your work lower than an established artist with a larger body of work. Size matters. Larger pieces often command higher prices, but not always. The impact and complexity of the work should also be considered. Artistic growth. As you develop your skills and reputation, you can gradually increase your prices. Market demand. If your work is in high demand, you might be able to charge higher prices.
Enjoy, Donald.
Keep records. Maintain records of your sales and the prices at which your artwork has sold. This can help you adjust your pricing over time. Get feedback. Ask for feedback from mentors, other artists, or even potential buyers to gauge if your pricing is reasonable. Pricing strategy. Decide on your pricing strategy. You can choose to price per square inch based on your hourly rate or set a fixed price for each piece. Be transparent. Clearly communicate your pricing to potential buyers and be prepared to explain how you arrived at your prices. Remember that pricing can be flexible, and you can adjust it over time as your career and demand for your work evolve. It's also important to strike a balance between valuing your work appropriately and making it accessible to potential buyers.
All right, I think she agrees to me. It sounds like pretty much exactly what I just said. That's actually kind of awesome. I want to experiment with this because I think I can change the voice. Maybe I'll change the ChatGPT to my voice. And so when it'll sound like me talking. Would you guys like the computer version of me to talk with you guys? So it'll be computer me and me talking with you. So it'll be double the Sean on each walk. That'd be pretty awesome. Hello, I love AI as such a tool for learning things or finding information you need. I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, Lars, as I've said in the past, there's multiple ways to value a collection. There's the actual resale value, which for me, I think to you is not, you don't even care what it's worth. For you, your value, and for a lot of collectors, the value is actually having the collection. Actually being able to, at 3 a.m, if you want to, walk to a shelf, grab a book or a comic, read it, look through it, smell it, enjoy it. And there's a value that you have by actually owning this stuff. That's the intrinsic value. It's like the value of a movie ticket is nothing unless you use it. But the value of a comic is worth something because someone else wants to buy the ability to read it or enjoy it or collect it. So there's a transferable value. But when you own it, that is, that value is to actually have it and be able to enjoy it. So that's, for me, I enjoy all the values. Whether it's the collectible values, the resellable values, the values of owning, the values of sharing, the value of giving it away to a friend who might also enjoy it. There's so many different values that you can have within